If you have ever looked at a meme coin worth hundreds of millions of dollars and wondered how a joke could possibly be worth that much, you're asking a perfectly reasonable question. But it may not be the most useful question. A better question is this: how much economic force can a large group of people create by paying attention to the same thing at the same time? One easy answer is that meme coins exist because people are irrational. The equally easy answer from meme coin promoters is that community itself is utility. Neither answer tells the whole story. Meme coins exist where internet culture, speculation, and open financial markets collide. They show us that markets do not respond only to technology, revenue, or traditional value. Markets also respond to attention, identity, expectation, and coordinated human behavior. Today, we're going to examine why meme coins exist, what gives them attention, and how community participation can become a genuine market force. Welcome back to CoinOps. This is the first episode in our new arc, Crypto Culture and Meme Signals. Throughout this arc, we are going to examine the human layer of the crypto market. That includes the way people communicate, form communities, repeat stories, influence each other, and eventually turn those stories into market activity. And there may be no better place to begin than meme coins. Before we can understand meme coins, we need to understand what a meme actually is. A meme is an idea, image, phrase, or symbol that people copy, modify, and spread through a culture. A meme coin connects tradable crypto asset to one of those ideas. That idea might be a dog, a frog, a political figure, an internet joke, a current event, or almost anything else capable of attracting collective attention. In a 2025 staff statement, the SEC's Division of Corporate Finance described meme coin as crypto assets inspired by internet memes, characters, current events, or trends, with promoters seeking to attract an online community to buy and trade them. The statement said they are typically purchased for entertainment, social interaction, and cultural purposes, with their value driven primarily by market demand and speculation. Many offer little or no function beyond the token itself, although some projects later build additional features around them. That is a useful description, but meme coin is not really a technical classification. Dogecoin operates on its own blockchain. Shiba Inu began as a token on Ethereum. Large numbers of newer meme coins are launched through automated platforms that sharply reduce the technical barrier to creating a token. What connects them is not their underlying technology. What connects them is that their identity and market demand are built primarily around culture. Dogecoin is the original example. It was traded in 2013 as a lighthearted response to the seriousness surrounding cryptocurrency. But people did more than buy it. They used it to tip each other on Reddit, created artwork, developed shared language, supported charities, and built an identity around the project. The joke attracted attention, but participation gave that attention somewhere to go. Now that distinction matters. A meme might attract people for a moment. A community gives them a reason to stay. Crypto infrastructure makes it much easier than traditional systems to turn an idea into a tradable token. Before crypto, an internet community could create jokes, merchandise, fan clubs, and online movements. But it could not easily create a permissionless, globally traded token market around its shared symbol. Now, tokens changed that. Now, a community can take a joke, attach a crypto asset to it, and allow people around the world to trade that asset 24 hours a day. People participate for several different reasons. Some participate because it's entertaining. Some want the social experience of belonging to a community. Some enjoy the rebellious or absurd nature of assigning financial value to an internet joke. And many participate because they believe they've discovered the joke before anyone else. That final motive introduces speculation. A person buying a meme coin is rarely purchasing only the meme. They're purchasing an expectation that more people will eventually notice it, join the community, and create additional demand. In that sense, a meme coin is something like a financialized fandom. The token becomes the membership signal, the scoreboard, and the speculative instrument all at once. But unlike a sports jersey or a piece of fan merchandise, the price is constantly changing. Every new buyer and seller changes how the community perceives its own success. That creates a powerful feedback loop. Attention and value are not the same thing, but attention is often a necessary first step towards demand. People cannot purchase an asset they've never heard about. Meme coins solve that problem through familiarity, humor, repetition, and emotional reaction. A recognizable image lowers the mental barrier to participation. People do not need to understand a complicated technical system before they can understand a dog wearing a hat. That produces a basic symbol, a cycle. The meme attracts attention. The attention produces social engagement. Social engagement attracts traders. Trading produces a price movement and volume. Price movement creates screenshots, success stories, arguments, and fear of missing out. Those reactions produce even more attention. This is a reflexive loop. Attention can influence price, while price simultaneously influences attention. A rising price makes the community appear stronger. That appearance attracts new participants whose purchases may push the price higher or reinforce the original belief. But the same process works in reverse. When price begins falling, engagement can disappear. Community members become quieter. Influencers move to the next narrative. The apparent social momentum weakens and fewer new buyers arrive. That is why attention can create a market without necessarily creating a durable one. It is also why market capitalization can be misleading. Imagine a token with 1 billion units. If its latest market price is 10 cents, its displayed market capitalization would be $100 million. Now, that does not mean $100 million was invested in the token. The calculation simply applies the latest marginal price across the circulating supply. If liquidity is thin, a relatively small number of purchases can move that price dramatically. But when many holders attempt to sell, there may not be enough liquidity available near the displayed price. Attention can push a chart upward quickly. It cannot guarantee that everyone will be able to exit at the valuation shown on the screen. If attention brings people into a meme coin, community participation may determine whether they remain after the original trend begins to fade. When people talk about a meme coin community, they often point to follower counts, engagement numbers, or the size of a Telegram channel. Now, those numbers do not necessarily represent the functioning community. A genuine community performs work. Members create artwork, videos, websites, translations, merchandise, and educational material. They organize events, host discussions, appropriate exchanges, contact merchants, and bring new participants into the network. In effect, the community can become a distributed marketing and development operation. Dogecoin demonstrated this early in its history. Its community used the coin for social tipping and organized charitable fundraising, including support for the Jamaican bobsled team and a clean water project in Kenya. Those activities gave participants something to organize around beyond watching the price. Community participation becomes a market force when it becomes changing behavior. People may decide to hold the asset longer. They may provide liquidity, accept a token for payment, create projects around it, or continuously introduce it to new audiences. This does not create business revenue or give holders legal rights to future income, but it can create demand, distribution, and cultural staying power. The difficult question is whether the community is creating something together or simply recruiting new buyers. A healthy community can survive disagreement. It can tolerate questions about risk. Its members contribute even when the chart is not moving upward. An unhealthy community treats every question as an attack. Members are pressured to promote the token constantly. Price criticism is forbidden, and selling is treated as betrayal. At that point, the community may function less like a social network and more like an unpaid sales force for earlier buyers. And those two conditions can overlap. A meme coin can have a real community and still be a terrible investment. The people, relationships, humor, and creative work may all be authentic. It does not guarantee fair token distribution, sufficient liquidity, responsible leadership, or lasting demand. Speculation is not automatically fraud. Every investment includes some expectation about the future. The difference is what supports that expectation. A business can be evaluated through revenue, assets, debt, and cash flow. A network token might be evaluated through actual usage, fees, security, and demand for its function. Some meme coin projects add payment, gaming, or decentralized finance features, but most still have far fewer fundamental anchors than businesses or utility-focused networks. Their prices depend heavily on whether people believe future attention will be greater than current attention. That makes visibility extremely valuable. It also creates an incentive to manufacture the appearance of visibility. Follower counts can be purchased. Engagement can be automated. Trading volume can be fabricated through wash trading. A small group can control multiple wallets, making concentrated ownership appear widely distributed. Even dramatic price movement can be engineered in a shallow liquidity pool. One cross-chain study examined nearly 35,000 meme coins. During its analysis, 707 of those tokens more than doubled in value. Researchers found that 82.8% of those high-return tokens showed evidence of artificial growth strategies, including wash trading and liquidity pool price-based priced inflation. That does not mean every successful meme coin is fraudulent. It does mean that popularity, volume, and price growth cannot automatically be treated as proof of organic demand. The language of community can also conceal the actual power structure. Promoters may constantly talk about what we are building, while insiders control most of the supply, liquidity, and decision making. The community accepts the market risk. The insiders retain the informational and structural advantage, and because a meme coin's primary asset is attention, its greatest weakness is simple. Attention can leave much faster than it arrived. It is easy to dismiss meme coins as meaningless gambling. It is equally easy to celebrate them as proof that community alone can create unlimited value. The reality is more useful than either extreme. Meme coins demonstrate that attention can be economically important. They show that identity can motivate people to contribute labor, capital, creativity, and distribution. They reveal how social proof can become demand, how demand can create price movement, and how price movement can generate additional social proof. But they also reveal how easily those signals can be manufactured, manipulated, and monetized. Meme coins are not exception to human behavior in markets. They are that behavior with many of the traditional fundamentals stripped away. The social layer becomes easy to see because there is often very little supporting the valuation. Culture can outlive a price cycle. A price cycle can also occur without producing a lasting culture. A joke can become a community. A community can create a market. That market can produce real gains, real losses, and real cultural influence. But none of those things guarantees lasting value. A meme can create demand. It cannot guarantee durable demand. Now, if you're still building your foundation in crypto, my book, Understanding Crypto, A Clear Guide for New Investors, explains the systems, terminology, and risks without assuming you already understand the industry. In the next episode, we're going to examine signal versus noise. We will look at how to determine whether online activity contains meaningful information or whether hype, repetition, manipulation, and empty engagement are merely creating the appearance of importance. This video helped you understand why meme coins exist. Subscribe to CoinOps and join me for the rest of the crypto culture and meme signals arc. And let me know in the comments, do you see meme coins as communities, speculative assets, or some combination of both? Stay locked.